What is worship? What does it mean to you? Different religions, different people worship in different ways. One way to worship is to go to a special place. This might be a temple or a church, but sometimes people worship at home too. Can you recognize any of these places of worship? Here is a Buddhist temple. Here is just one example of a synagogue, but they don't all look like this. Here is one example of a Sikh Gurdwara in India, but again, they don't all look like this. This is just one example of a mosque. And here is just one example of a Hindu temple. Do you recognize this religious building? You're right. This is an example of just one type of church. The church is a religious building within the Christianity religion. Can you think of any churches you might have seen? Here's Spennymoor Church, St Paul's Church. How would you recognise it? Here are two more buildings. They are both very different and very different to St Paul's, but yet they are still churches. How are they similar? How are they different? St Paul's Cathedral is a very large church, but the picture on the other side is just a very small chapel in Leeds. How do these two buildings compare to Spennymoor Church? We can't see inside of these two buildings, but here's a little sneak peek inside St Paul's Church in Spennymoor. What do you notice? There are many different types of churches. Here is a parish church, a bit like St Paul's. Parish churches tend to be in villages and serve a community. Here is an example of a pilgrimage church. Pilgrimage is when people go on a big long journey to pray. So a pilgrimage church is a church that people would visit on their journey. How are these two types of church very different? One is a church in a village where you would get to know everyone very well. The other you might only ever visit once in your lifetime during your special journey. This is a stave church. There are only 28 of them left open in the world. They are made of wood and have lots of posts inside. And what about a cathedral? A cathedral is a type of church, a very big type of church where a bishop lives. Do you recognise this cathedral? There are lots of different types of places that people can worship. Regardless of where people worship, the reasons they worship tend to be the same. They might go to pray, they might go to sing, they might go to appreciate God, they might go to learn, they might go to make friends and talk to other people about their beliefs. They might go to get married, to get baptized, or for a funeral. There are lots of reasons to worship in lots of different places. Can you have fun researching some different churches?